You're listening to ASOTUCon Sessions by Space Auto, recorded live at ASOTUCon 2025.
We are live on the ASOTUCon podcast stage powered by Space Auto and in the heart of the action here at ASOTUCon 2025. I'm Brad Gelber, and I'm here today with Arthur Bratton of Holiday Automotive, talking about what my kids taught me about car shopping UX. Super cool title. When I was kind of told what we'd be talking about, I was like, yeah, this is a little different. This is cool. So first question, before we dive into the UX, can you tell us a little bit about your unofficial research team at home?
Sure, yeah. I have 3 researchers at home. They are 3, 5, and 7, 2 boys and a girl. And so the eldest is Clara, and then William, and then Charlie. And to be fair, I didn't expect to be learning tons of user experience from them, but watching and observing how they use their tablet and interact with it without, William can't read and he's interacting fine and figuring it out. And so, all right, how can we use this to make the user experience on our site better so that there's like a Venn diagram of kids being able to use it and then the older generations being able to use it. And it turns out that if it's easy for kids, it's easier for everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, one of the number one things they always tell you in marketing or this sort of thing is to dumb it down, right?
Yep.
And I'm not saying kids are dumb, but you're taking it from their perspective of not knowing really anything about this. And I think it's a brilliant way to maybe conceptualize it. So I love the topic. So what are some ways user behavior on dealership websites mirrors the way younger generations interact with technology?
So one of the things I observed was that everything is tappable in the mobile experience,
Sure.
to the point where we'd finish a Netflix show and on the big screen, and my kids would go up to the TV and tap it and expect, oh, this one.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't work that way. But so making sure that the site has large clickable thing. At this point, almost everyone knows that you can click on the image on the search results page and it'll take you to the VDP. But just making sure that the interactions, it's not just a text link, it's a graphical button that you can see. Just makes it that much easier, both mobile experience, but on desktop too, because it's clear what the next action is.
Sure. Yeah, and that's funny. My wife's computer is a touch screen, so she's so used to touching it. Sometimes she'll have my Mac. She'll be banging on the screen, but whoa, this, it doesn't do that. So, what do you think the most dealers' websites get wrong when it comes to how people process information? And you could probably go on about this for a while, but if you had to kind of keep it short.
Short, yeah. I think that dealers think that more information is better, and I don't know that that's always the case. I want every piece of the description to have everything, and it's like a word vomit of every feature on the car in one giant paragraph that's, you're scrolling through and all you care about is one thing. So making sure, rather than have everything in a giant paragraph, put the highlights on the top. Ideally, if you can put it as an overlay on the image, maybe that way it's on the search results page, but just so that it's clear the features that that people are interested in on a particular vehicle. Pickup trucks have very different things that people care about versus SUV. So making sure that the most relevant information is right up front on top, above the fold. You don't have to scroll to get to it. That, I think, is key.
For sure. How does website speed impact the user experience from your perspective? And I know speed does come up a lot, and there's certain companies employed. We work with one at Wester actually that we use them to speed up our website. So it's obviously a top line stat maybe that people within the space think about or worry about all the time. So how do you think that impacts the experience for users?
Once again, my kids will be sitting there, and if a show doesn't load in 2 seconds, I'm getting, Dad, why is the internet's broken?
Yep.
It's same thing with our websites. If it takes more than 2 seconds, if it takes more than a second, the drop off is huge on people thinking you're losing trust in the site. Is something wrong with my internet? Is it something wrong with the website? And you move on, you go to another dealer's website, and you've lost your shot. So making sure that a website's fast is key. In my opinion, if Google's test says that your website is too slow, it's too slow. Google's where I want to be at the moment.
Right.
And so removing bolted on items to keep it clean, anything that doesn't need to be there, isn't adding value to the end user, should probably come off. Optimizing photos, not having too many banner images, all of that makes a huge difference. And then also, if you haven't heard of Speed Layer with AutoGenius, like that's worth
what I was
looking
hinting
into.
at. So there you go.
Because that's helping optimize the scripts on the site and making sure it loads quickly. It's a huge difference.
Something I'm sure everyone feels this pain point that's in an in-house marketing team is sometimes leadership wants a lot of different things on the website, and they want it all at the top, which there's only so much room. So I think sometimes it's a funny two-way, because everyone wants their website to be fast. They want it to communicate all these things. How do you what preference do things take on the page? What when things change? So I think it's something we all probably struggle with a little bit. And then, it still needs to be fast despite all this information, the videos, the images, all this stuff kind of, as you said, vomited on the website there.
And OEM requirements too make it difficult, because
totally.
you need to have these 2 call to actions, and those are the 2, I guess.
But don't forget, it can only be a certain color when it
Correct.
is it? What kind of content or features do you believe shoppers want to see right away when they land on a page?
Once again, making sure that you have the pricing information above the fold, which usually that's pretty good. Photos, but once again, if it is a truck, have relevant bed length and additional towing capacity and all of the sort of features like that would matter. Don't make people dig down into the accordions below. Have it up front and above the fold.
Yeah. I was in a panel yesterday. It was talking about visuals on vehicles, and it is crazy when you think about, they were using Nike as an example of seeing sneakers, how cleanly it's laid out on the page, beautifully designed, all looks the same. They're all the same angle, and they're selling a couple $100 sneakers. We're talking about thousands and $60,000 trucks, things like that on our website. Some of them don't have pictures. Some coming soon. It's a blurry photo. So it's just sometimes crazy when you think about how we merchandise, or the standard with an automotive versus some of these other industries at a much smaller price point. But visually, it still makes a difference.
Yeah, huge.
How can dealerships create a digital experience that feels more personable and approachable? And I think this is maybe important, because as we talk about AI and all these different things now, I think personal approaches, or the PIIs that people are using and things like that, it's definitely where it's going.
Yep. Yeah, you have to inject the human back in, as much as we want to lean back and say, well, AI will take care of it. Right. Same thing. It's like, if we want guests to be comfortable to reach out to us if they have questions. And one of the ways that you can do that is, if you personalize it with pictures of actual dealership employees, that's an indicator to people that people matter and it cares. The stock imagery is pretty easy to tell, and now with AI, I can just create it in AI, and right. The human has an extra finger, but people pick up on that pretty quickly. And so actually having, when someone submits something, have a response right away and have it be a human response, I think is huge.
And I think that's maybe one of the biggest things we're running into with the dawn of AI and this stuff, is not forgetting about the human element. Because we talk a lot about this at Westher, and it's people still first. And I think that's just something we shouldn't lose sight of, just because we have this great technology or these new capabilities. As you said, it's so important to keep that personal approach. Last question here for you. If a dealer wanted to make one small improvement to their website's UX tomorrow, what would you recommend they start with?
I'd recommend eating your own dog food, so to speak.
Yeah.
Go on your site today, pull it up on your phone, see how many pop-ups you have covering up things, preventing you from clicking on them. Go through the process of submitting a lead, and it does get stuck somewhere. I'm absolutely shocked and appalled, frankly, at how often I'll go on one of our sites and something that was fixed, and stuff just breaks.
Yes.
So look at your own stuff. Take anything off that doesn't need to be there. We like to bolt new things on, and then we don't review whether that thing actually works. Take some time, observe it, remove stuff that doesn't need to be there. That's the easiest first step.
Yeah, and I think the pop-up thing is something we all have experienced, and it's, you pay for one tool, you forget you have this thing going, it's over the other one, you can't exit out of it. And we talked about before how maybe speed in load time or things on the websites, how you maybe get the user on. I can't think of a faster way to get them off
Exactly.
than 60 pop-ups coming up, this thing's playing, and you're just like, get me out of this as soon as possible.
Yeah, you close out of the chat window and something else pops up. You're like, here, get your coupon offer.
Yep. And I think we could go on for that for a while. But Arthur, thank you for joining us today. It was great to talk to you a little bit about this. And like I said, super unique topic. Keep those kids busy reviewing your website there. So
thank you for having me.
Yep, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for listening to this ASOTUCon session brought to you by Space Auto. At ASOTU, we're obsessed with uniting people around one big idea, that thriving people are the only path to a thriving and profitable industry. If that resonates with you, head over to morethancars.com to join our email list and explore our full list of podcasts.